Hey guys, it's Kylie. Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I matched my makeup to my mask. I really want to encourage everybody to wear their masks. It's protecting yourself, it's protecting everybody else, and we just need to keep doing it. I want to point out that with a mask like this, you're going to want to wear something a little more protective because this is only a single layer, so if you're inside with a bunch of people and you're closer than 6 feet, this is not going to protect you as much as something like this will. So you could put something like this underneath it and then put this on top of it and look stylish. I want to start a series called Mask Mondays where I match my makeup to all my masks, so if you want to see those, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on those. If you want to see how I look cute while saving lives, keep watching. Okay, so my brows are on. I will link that tutorial in the cards above if you're interested in how I do them. And now I'm taking Glitch from the Urban Decay Wired palette just to set my primer in place. I used the Putty eye primer from e.l.f. in the shade Rose. Now I'm taking Moonlite from the Colourpop She's a Rainbow palette, and I'm going to buff that in the inner half of my crease. Doing it a little bit higher than I normally would because I am going to be doing a cut crease. Just going to take a clean brush. Just going to take a clean brush to blend those edges out. And then back into the Urban Decay Wired palette, I am going to be tapping into both Savage and Glitch just to lighten that pink shade and make it a little bit more pastel. And then eventually I'll go in and I'll deepen it up with just Savage, but this will make it easier to blend in the long run. And slowly but surely, I'm just using less and less of Glitch and more of that pink shade. Taking just a tiny bit of Sandbar from that Colourpop palette and buffing that towards the base of the pink just to deepen it up a little bit. And if it gets too dark, you can always go back in with Glitch to soften things up. And go in with a clean brush, just to buff out those edges without bringing that color any higher. Gonna be mixing Chaos and Glitch just to define that blue a little bit more towards the lower part of the crease. And again, if it gets too deep, you can always go back in with Glitch to soften things up. And to blend these two in the middle, you can just kind of take a clean brush and tap. And you're gonna get kind of a purplish shade. I don't want that area to be too wide though. Now with some makeup remover on a Q-tip, I'm gonna try to cut my crease, and it's gonna be a full cut crease, and so I'm gonna do a whole little swooped motion here. Start with the lid, and then take it up just a little bit higher. Now I'm just taking some of the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Concealer, and I'm going to further kind of clean up that crease and just lay that down on the lid that we have kind of naked there. Going back in with Glitch to set that concealer in place so it doesn't crease. This will help brighten it up a little bit too, give more contrast to make the cut crease a little bit more visible. Now I'm just going to be mixing the Suva Beauty Hydra FX liners in Space Panda and Scrunchie to get a nice kind of pastel baby pink color. I'm gonna just squirt a little bit of water into the lid and get my brush wet. And then you swirl into the pot. You want to swirl it until the water is well mixed in so you get enough pigment in the liner. And then I'm going to take that on my palette and go in with a new brush and do the same thing with Space Panda. Just mixing. Putting that right next to Scrunchie. And then taking a third brush and mixing those colors together. That way, if I want to add in any more of one of the colors, I have a clean brush that I can do that with without contaminating it. But it looks like I like that color. Now I'm gonna line the inner half of my lash line with that to do kind of like a reverse of what we have in the cut crease. Now I'm doing the same thing with Tracksuit and Space Panda, just mixing those to get a little bit lighter blue. And I'm just mixing those on my board until I get the color that I want. I think I have a color that I like now. Added a little bit more blue, and so I'm picking that up on an angled liner brush and I'm gonna wing it out. Gonna go in with just a tiny bit of that pink that we made before, just to help blend those colors together. Very small amount on the brush though. And then I saw on Suva Beauty's Instagram that if you coat their liners in lash glue that it'll make them waterproof. And I haven't tried that yet, so I want to try that today. I'm just using the Kiss Strip Lash Adhesive. While that glue has a chance to dry down, I'm gonna go do the same thing on the other eye. Now I'm just wetting a brush and taking this pinkish shimmer. It's called Girlfriend from the Golden State of Mind palette from Colourpop. And I'm just gonna kind of lightly put that in all of this blank space, being careful not to get it too close to the liner because the lash glue on the liner is staying a little bit tacky and I don't want the liner itself to be sticky. Probably should have done this step before the liner, but you know, you live and you learn. They're shiny. Take a fluffier brush to kind of blend that out. Now with the Milani Ludicrous Lights Eye Topper in Pink-Aroo, I am gonna put that just right over where we put that shimmer shade for a little bit extra, a little more texture. I like how chunky this glitter is. I'm just putting it on the back of my hand and then picking it up with a brush. Gonna finish off the rest of the face before I go back to the eyes. Just using the Colourpop Pretty Fresh primer. This is a nice moisturizing primer. Really dry skin, and so I find that, well, I find that having a nice moisturizing primer and making sure I moisturize in general before doing my makeup just makes my foundation sit nicer on my skin. Using some of the Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer just around my T-zone. I'm just using some of the Colourpop Pretty Fresh foundation. I've been really liking this foundation. It has a really natural finish for me. If you want to see my first impressions on it, I filmed those and you can see it in the cards above. I like to blend it out with a brush first, and then I go in with a sponge to kind of smooth everything out. I'm going in with the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Concealer, mostly to cover up my under eyes. If I have any other spots though, I'll cover those up. If you can't tell, I really like this line. Just setting that concealer in place with the Coty Airspun powder. And then I'll lightly set the rest of my face because I don't want my things like bronzer to skip, but I don't want to mattify the face too much. We're looking a little bit ghostly, and so I'm gonna contour a little bit with the Wet n Wild contouring palette in Dulce de Leche. Just add some definition back into the skin. And when I wear foundation, it kind of washes out any natural color that you have in the skin. Warming up the complexion just a bit more with the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. Gonna go in with some of that glitter later, but as kind of a base highlight, I'm gonna use some of the Essence Pure Nude highlighter and be my highlight. For blush, I want something real pink, and so I'm going in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills blush in Sugar. This is just from the Pink Passion Trio. Like always, I'm just redefining my big freckle with the e.l.f. brow pencil. Not that anyone is going to see my lips with a mask on, but I am going to put a little bit of the Becca Beach Tin in Guava on. You don't want anything that's sticky because it'll transfer to your mask. Okay, back to the eyes. I'm going to mimic what I did up here, down here. So first I'm taking Moonlight and running that on the inner half of my lower lash line. Taking Savage on the outer half. I'll line my waterline with the Maybelline Gel Pencil Liner in Polished White. Gonna pop on some falsies and I'll be right back. Alright, my lashes are on. I just used the Kiss Strip Lash adhesive, some Ardell Wispies, and then I curled my lashes with a tiny bit of the L'Oreal Bambi Eye Mascara. I'm going back in with Girlfriend from the Golden State of Mind palette, popping that on my inner corner. I'm gonna wet my brush for this one. Get maximum impact. While we're here, I'm gonna highlight my cheekbones a little bit with that, because why not? Nice little pinky shift. And then going back in with a little bit of the Milani Pink-Aroo eye topper and patting a little bit of that on the inner corner too. Why not on the cheekbones? More is more. Beautiful. And that's the finished look. Thank you guys for wearing your masks, and I'll see you on Wednesday.